Morning. Long time no see, guys. Beautiful morning here at beautiful Southport Park, the lower end of Lake Toho. I gotta make you guys a little fishing report video today. The rumor mill has Lake Toho pinned for being kind of tough. Haven't been out here. Been fishing other lakes. We're gonna go see if we can get them. You guys, come on. Guys, as always, appreciate you guys tuning in to the channel, watching a little bit of Tilson's guide service, fishing Lake Toho. Put together a little fishing report here for you guys, hopefully. Water is crazy high. Crazy high water. Which is typical. They've been doing a lot of spraying. Usually that's what they do. They do a lot of spraying and then they'll leave the water high and then they'll flush it after it all dies. They've got this spraying stuff down to a science. Bald eagle this morning. Freaking cool. What a beautiful morning. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. I have not been on Lake Toho in a couple of weeks, mostly because I have been really busy with Harris chain trips and have been going to some other lakes. Water temperature is 74 degrees. You know, the duck hunters are out. Anytime the duck hunters are out, that means there's chopped grass mats. But a lot of my better days on Toho this time of year have come offshore, throwing a jerkbait. So we're gonna go do some graphing this morning. We're gonna take just a little bit of time and idle, graph, see what the deal is with the hydrilla down here on the south end. Word on the street is they sprayed all the hydrilla on the south end of Lake Toho. We're gonna find out. I can tell you one thing that they have not sprayed for sure, that is peppergrass. There's still just as much peppergrass down here as there was before. The peppergrass on Lake Toho is out of control. See what happens. It's not necessarily what we were looking for this morning on the jerkbait, but check out that dude. Crush that mega bass. First one of the day. Fat little guy. Jerkbait action here. Nice fish right there, guys. How he ate that jerkbait. There we go. Look at that. That was like the first or second cast. CPF Lures Stickler Pro 5.5 in that color that works so well out here on Toho. Dirty Albright. Look at that. That's a beauty right there. Beautiful fish. Nice and healthy. Let's get her back. Such a deadly bait this time of year and all the way through the winter. CPF Lures Stickler Pro. That's the 5.5 and that's in that color, Dirty Albright. Let's get another one of those. Big, decent fish though. Another one of my favorites out here in the fall. Devil's Horse. You guys know it. Y'all have seen it on my channel enough. That's a Brian Heberlin handmade custom Devil's Horse. Decent fish on the horse again. First drop in that mat.
You got me?
Yep. All right, guys. Let's talk about Lake Toho. What's going on with Lake Toho? You know, I get asked a lot of questions pretty regularly. Are they spraying? What's the grass like? Can I fish over here? Can I fish over there? And the long and short of it is you can fish anywhere in the lake right now because the water level is so high. There's a lot of hydrilla down on the south end out from Whaley's that, as far as I can tell, per today, they haven't sprayed it, but there's probably a foot of water on top of a lot of that hydrilla out there. The bite this morning was pretty good. Water temperatures are ranging anywhere from 70 first thing in the morning, 75 on up in the afternoon, later in the day. Water visibility and water clarity on Toho is excellent. You know, it's got that black color to it, but you know, up here in the grass, you probably got 2 feet plus of visibility. It's Thanksgiving week. There's a lot of people on the water right now. A lot of duck hunters, a lot of kids out of school, a lot of people out here enjoying the lake. Today was the first time I'd been out here in a couple of weeks, and I would say that the fishing was pretty good, all in all. You know, we started catching fish right off the bat, first thing this morning on a jerkbait. And we caught bass, and you guys saw me catch a bunch of speckled perch on that dude right there. And that's just a Mega Bass Vision 110. I believe that color is Pro Blue, could be wrong. I got that on a 7-foot Loomis edge. It's a good jerkbait rod. Another really good bait that was really, really good today. They were eating it really well, a lot of aggressive blowups. You guys, if you've been following the channel for any length of time, you've seen it before. It's that Brian Heberlin custom Devil's Horse that I throw out here. Absolutely love that bait. Straight mono. If you're gonna throw a Devil's Horse, make sure you throw it on mono. Don't throw it on braid. It gets wrapped up in the prop, and don't throw it on fluoro. It's gonna sink and you're not gonna get the right pop. I've got that paired up on, it's a St. Croix Legend Tournament all in. It's what I've got. I don't like the rod. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys and recommend you get one. It's just what I got it tied up on right now. Not a fan of these. The bait that caught the biggest fish today lost another big one and had the most bites, though. Probably would call it the key player today out here on Lake Toho. Is that Texas rigged. That's a CPF Lures 5.5 Stickler Pro, and that's in a color called Dirty Albright. I got that paired up on a 1/4 ounce weight. It's pegged. 4/0 hook, 17-pound fluorocarbon. And although they would eat the Devil's Horse and the jerkbait, this guy right here got it done quite a bit better than the other baits did. Again, most of you guys have seen my worm rod setup videos. This is that Dobbins Ecstasy 754. This is an incredible worm rod. Love these Dobbins Ecstasy rods. It's a great stick. Most of the fish in Lake Toho live offshore, and they like to relate to hard bottom, they like to relate to bait, they like to relate to hydrilla. It's just where the majority of the fish in this lake are. There's a lot of great fish up here on the shore, but most of them are offshore. Kind of a key thing, maybe a key takeaway from today, is that there's a hydrilla mat on the south end of the lake, and as I was idling out of Southport this morning, I could already see, you know, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boats all lined up on that same community hole hydrilla edge out there. And I was like, I'm not gonna go out there and do that. And as I was graphing around, I found a small isolated clump of hydrilla way off from the main mat by itself. And that's where I caught the bulk of the fish at, and the biggest one of the day at. There's a ton of fish in this lake, guys. You don't have to go sit in there and fish around 100 other boats. Go find some other fish offshore. Do some graphing, utilize your electronics. They're not hard to find. But kind of what I did, I knew in my mind that, you know, this week is Thanksgiving, so we're getting into the winter. It's really hot right now, but still talking about 70-degree water temperature. I knew I was gonna start with a search bait. My search bait of choice on Lake Toho is that Mega Bass, that's just the Vision 110, either in Pro Blue, I like Pearl. These fish they're not real picky when you get around some hungry fish. They'll pretty much eat any color. I've done well on, you know, just old school Mega Bass. I think it's threadfin shad. It's just that like gray silver with the black back. And then once I kind of got bit, I could slow down and put that Cinco on them. Call it a Cinco. That's the CPF Stickler Pro 5.5. And would really start getting a lot more bites and bigger fish. But, you know, the ability to cover a lot of water with that jerkbait really saved me a lot of time considering I haven't been out here. So I would say search bait plus catching some, slow down with the stickler, really get after them. And then once I got around some thicker grass that I could, you know, got bit in or caught a fish out of, I could throw that horse on top of that grass and really catch a lot more fish out of that grass on the horse. Now the horse didn't catch anything big, but it did put some nice fish in the boat today, and the bite frequency was really, really, really good on this. All the way up until the wind started blowing. It seemed like once the wind started blowing, I kind of lost that bite. But it also kind of seemed like everything else died out there. This time of year on Lake Toho, water temp in the 70s, or if they're in the 60s, but especially anytime that the water level is really high. Like right now, the water level is really, really high on Lake Toho. It's crazy high. You know, come around noon, say your offshore hydrilla bite dies, those fish get kind of stingy on you. You can always come up here to the bank, find some really good chopped grass mats, tusset mats, chopped reed mats, floating stick islands up here, whatever the case may be, and start doing some mat punching and drop that reaper in there on them. And that put a few fish in the boat this afternoon, even after our offshore bite died. So if you're watching this and you're not going to be able to get out here on Toho until this weekend, maybe Black Friday, the day after Black Friday, I would say you definitely need to have that Texas rig, Stickler Pro, a jerkbait, and a mat rod. I'm betting that after this front comes through this week, this mat flipping bite's going to get better. Not a bad day on the water, guys. Lake Toho's fishing really well. It's going to get better as it cools off. If you're in the Central Florida area and you want to go on a guided trip, go catch the biggest bass of your life, or possibly go experience some of the best bass fishing you've ever experienced, whether it be dragging a worm, throwing a jerkbait on live scope, getting up shallow and punching them up underneath mats, or if you want to go throw shiners for big trophy bass, get with me I always drop a link in the description below. You go into the description box. I've got my website in there. Contact info is there. You guys get with me. Let's get you a trip booked. Get on the schedule. Let's get you out here on Lake Toho, the Harris Chain, the St. Johns River, anywhere in Central Florida. Go get you a big bass. Hopefully teach you something so that you can have more success on the water in the future. Other than that, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to go get off the water, go get me something to eat. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, stay tuned to the channel. Lake Toho is probably one of the best lakes in Central Florida. You catch them however you really want to catch them. But that's my recommendation right now. Like I said, keep an eye out for that cold front this week. Water temps are going to drop. You're going to see some bites change. But for the most part, I think it's going to get better. Till the next one, guys, we'll catch you later.